All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Friday, the 26th of July, making our way through this very hot summer here in South Florida. We've had a couple of great tastings this week, the Spanish events at Cafe Max and at the Edge restaurant down at Brickell. And, well, small turnouts, but, you know, those are some of the most successful events. We've got a great tasting tonight with the winemaker from Yacachulo Winery from Mendoza, one of Michel Rolland's projects down there. And then just one lowly tasting for next week, the Southern Rhone Tasting 2009-2010 Battle Royale. And we have got for you today one of the greatest producers from the Loire Valley, the late Didier Dagueneau. And it's good to see that his son, Louis Benjamin, and daughter are taking on the great task of filling his shoes and continuing to make some of the greatest wines, not only in the Loire Valley, but in the world. And when Didier Dagueneau started in the 80s, you know, he was teaching, he was preaching that you need to lower yields. You need to do things naturally in the vineyard. These are all things that are standard operating procedure today from great producers, but he was one of the trailblazers in this part of the world. And some of his vinification techniques may be a little bit odd. He hates malolactic fermentation, loves acidity, loves the savoriness it gives his wines, and the ageability, and then that minerality, the distinction of his different vineyard sites, really evident in his wines. And we have got one of the largest collections of Mr. Dagueneau's wines that we've ever been able to offer you, including everything I believe that he makes. I'm not an expert on Didier's wines. I've only been to the Loire Valley a couple of times. Have not got to visit his property, but you know, I've done a little bit of research on it. And I've drank quite a few bottles of Mr. Dagueneau's wines through the years. He passed away in an ultralight accident in 2008. I think he was flying to one of his new vineyard sites with somebody, and the other person, I think, fell off and broke their leg, but he actually crashed and burned with the ultralight, and hopefully he didn't. Hopefully the crash killed him because, like I said, the plane blew up. But a very interesting man. He had no formal training in winemaking. He was a race car driver, kind of a crazy guy. If you see the picture of him on this offer, you'll see almost looks like a deadhead. And, you know, like I said, very passionate about his wines and wanted to be the best, wanted to make the best wines in the Loire Valley, was willing to sacrifice well, you know, making much less wine, cutting his yields down, and doing all the right things in the vineyard, which is very expensive, but hey, he charged a lot in return for his wines. These wines were on everybody's top list of wines in the Loire Valley. All the 3-star Michelin restaurants throughout Europe had them on the wine list. And this gentleman, a really unique individual. It's sad to see that he is gone. But like I said, it's good to see that his son and daughter are carrying on the family tradition, still making some of the greatest wines in the Loire Valley. We have got, like I said, everything, the Fouet de Fumé, which Fouet de Pouilly, and Fumé de Pouilly, I'll say that 3 times really fast, which is the entry-level wine. If you can call anything from this producer entry-level, a combination of different vineyard sites. And then we've got some single vineyard wines, the Buisson-Renard, a flinty, mineral-rich Pouilly, originally called Buisson-Renard. I think he changed the name because somebody actually made the mistake of calling it Renard, and he liked the way that that wine sounded. And then the Pur Sang, which is a barrel-fermented Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. A thoroughbred is what that means. And Silex, which is a stamp of the soil from the vineyard site where this wine comes from. 35 to 60-year-old vine, Silex rich soil, and you really get that minerality, that pronounced minerality. But these wines also, one of the things that they focus is on phenolic ripeness, another thing that Didier was preaching before people caught on to the concept of the grape must be completely ripe before you can make a balanced wine. So his wines tend to be a little fruitier than some. Some people make a lot leaner and racier wines in the Loire Valley. Then this Jurançon Le Jardin de Babylone, a dessert wine made for the first time in 2005, I believe, from the south of France, the Pyrenees. And this wine, just stunningly good, the reviews on it. So I'm really excited to get some of this wine in the store. The Asteroïde, an astonishingly expensive version of Pouilly Fumé. This is a single vineyard wine of ungrafted vines, 18 rows. Obviously, thus the price tag, $700, $800, whatever it is. Ridiculously expensive, but check it out along with everything else we've got to offer from this legendary producer from the Loire Valley. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.